Hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo World Report at Night for Wednesday, April 6th, 2016. I'm your host, Alexander Coffey. Today, joined by one Donald Terrio.
Strong style is back, baby.
What were you just doing? What was that a reference
to? Your camera.
Oh, sorry. I watched a lot of wrestling this weekend. Let's put it that way.
Oh,
all right.
I'm sorry.
Wrestling's
one of the few things that I see people tweeting about it. I'm just like, it's like a foreign language to me. Usually, I know enough about different things that people are talking about that I'm like, okay, that's like The Walking Dead's on. Like, but wrestling, it's just like I see names and people, and I'm just like, man, I don't know what's going on.
And you see 46-year-old people with MBAs flinging themselves off 20-foot tall steel cages.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me just say, people engage on Twitter heavy with The Walking Dead. I just fired off a tweet at the end of the finale. My best received tweet ever. Like, I think, 25 retweets, 70 likes. I was so proud of myself.
The Walking Dead is crazy huge. Like, it's one of the few TV shows out there that harkens back to the days where, like, TV shows mattered.
I
guess, like, TV shows as they mattered.
Huh?
What's your theory? Who to kill?
Oh, well, it's if we're talking inside baseball right now, one Zachary Miller who is also joining us. I think they're going to follow the comic. If you want to know what happens in the comic, go look up issue 100 of The Walking Dead. That is all I will say. Which, by the way, the best issue of any comic book in my opinion.
For my real introduction, I have to show this off.
I don't know if I'm listening to Zach's Amiibo or Neal calling me crazy.
No. I was cut off. I said, I'll disagree, but The Walking Dead is a very good comic.
The Walking Dead's a very good comic. The show is outrageously hit or miss.
I don't like the show at all. I tried.
I stopped watching it.
From what I've heard, I think if I stuck with it and got to certain seasons and certain episodes, I'd probably like it, but I hated the first season.
I watched the two honest trailers. I'm caught up on it now, and I'm glad I don't watch the whole thing. I also just want to say, baby dolls.
What's that, Neal? Oh, I thought that was a Wii U game.
No.
Wii U.
I like this dude's art style. He's at local events near me. I think he's based out of South Jersey.
Okay.
I had it nearby.
So, Alex Coffey, Neal Ronahan, Donald Terrio, and one Zachary Miller. Today, our main topic is Star Fox Zero. We're also going to be talking about Me Tomo, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess Picross, and our predictions for the next Nintendo Direct, which has not been announced yet. But first, talking about Star Fox Zero. Neal Ronahan, tell me exactly what you're allowed to talk about for Star Fox Zero, and then talk about Star Fox Zero.
What I do with the printout?
I think is Star Fox Zero Star Fox 64 HD?
Parts of it definitely seem reminiscent of that. I'm allowed to talk about 12 levels out of an undetermined amount.
Are they the 12 levels that were on your list on the website?
Yeah. That's where that idea came from. I'm gonna bring that article up and I'll talk about some of the really cool ones. So, I mean, yeah. The structure of this game is very much, it's a fucking Star Fox game. Like, I don't know what else to tell you, man.
Yeah.
You start off in Corneria. Guess what? Andros attacked. Big shock. As the story goes, your dad, James, him, Pigma, and Peppy Hare were like going to stop Andros. Turns out Pigma's a two-timing hussy. And James is dead, and Andros is attacking. So the setup for half of the Star Fox games is the same setup for Star Fox Zero.
Actually, yeah, that James thing is not a spoiler. At first I thought it was, but then I thought back to the old games, and I'm like, no, that's the right way to refer to James.
Yeah, like, I mean, yep. I know a lot of people are crapping on the controls, and they take a lot of getting used to, but I'll still stand by what I said back at E3, where I played those demos a ton, because there wasn't that much else to play if you covered a Nintendo game, or if you covered Nintendo systems. And I still kind of enjoy the controls. I think that they challenge me in a way that a traditional Star Fox game would not, because they require, it's like the whole, like patting your head while rubbing your belly, like it's that kind of challenge. It's not like I feel like I'm terrible at the game. It feels like there's more to do. Like if you remember controlling the Metroid ship, or I guess Samus's ship in Metroid Blast on Nintendo Land, very similar to that.
I don't remember that.
I think it's more refined than that because a lot of the things are very, structured linear paths where you're constantly moving. And the all-range stuff, thank in part to a pretty good lock-on system, it's not easy to get lost in the all-range mode, which I was very thankful for. And I think a lot of the success of the all-range mode comes to light in the dogfights, which one of the levels I can talk about is a level that it's a secret level where you go off, chase after Wolf halfway through a level, ditch your team, and then you go fight Wolf one-on-one in a dogfight on the ice planet, which I think is Fashina. There's like a lot of ones. There's Fortuna. There's I think it's Fashina.
Neal, a one-on-one dogfight sounds god-awful.
I mean, you can watch. There's about a 1.5-minute clip.
Okay.
It's very intense. It's very fun.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't play awful.
All right.
The dogfights in Star Fox 64 were my favorite part of that game, I will just say.
Yeah, then you would probably enjoy the dogfights in Star Fox Zero. I think they are better than the ones in Star Fox 64.
Okay.
Someone confirmed? Yes, it is Fashina.
Okay. I have 2 questions. One of them I know you can definitely answer. The other one I might have to wait for a review, but I still want to ask. The first one, is Platinum's DNA on this game in any noticeable way?
I don't.
If you have to think about it, the answer is no.
Yeah, this is a Nintendo game with Platinum input and not the other way around. Like that is very much true. This is a Star Fox game with like some Platinum touches here or there.
Okay.
And even those touches are just like the action's a little better.
Okay. The other thing, which I might again need to wait for the review for, so this could just be a tease for the review, but I'm very curious, is the content in line with a Star Fox game that's released in 2016 at $60, or could I hope for something a little more ambitious than I initially expect, like Kid Icarus Uprising almost?
I don't think I can safely answer that right now.
Okay.
I could talk about 12 levels out of an undetermined amount.
Do you have a good answer for the spirit of my question that you can't answer now?
It's a Star Fox game.
Okay.
I do want to, before we move on, there's 2 levels in particular that I want to point out. Sector Beta and Sector Omega, or Sector Gamma, as Nintendo lied to us in marketing materials. Because they have like the sign, like the Greek letters, and in all of their materials they said that Sector Gamma was Sector Gamma, when in reality, if you look at the symbol, it's totally Sector Omega.
What the hell?
Sector Omega is a late stage that's super fast and super awesome. It has a lot of twists and turns, lots of enemies, and it ends with a fight against the attack carrier, and that's great. There's also
not Dark Side?
What?
Not Dark Side?
No, it's the attack carrier.
Okay.
Omega
thing?
No, I got it. I just didn't want to acknowledge it.
Oh.
There is a line that I had in my preview but took it out because I don't like going full bore into cursing in the written page. But at the end of Sector Omega, you do get to see some Andros-fueled fuckery, where just like all like this weird shit with the teleporters and stuff. It's fun.
Okay.
And then there's another level that's about midway through that's called Sector Beta. That's where Bill Gray shows up. He's still a surfer dude. It's still wonderful. And the really cool thing about that level is that it really has like distinct phases to it. Which in the Corneria stage that I assume most people have probably seen by now, there's like that, the straight ahead rail segment that started off. That's phase 1. Phase 2 is you're shooting stuff around this tower. Phase 3 is the boss fight. For Sector Beta, the first phase is you're kind of going into this dogfight that's already in progress, shooting ships down. After a while, then a big ship comes from the enemy. Turns out that big ship has a shield. You need to figure out how to get through it. There's a lot of chaos, a lot of cinematic crap going on at the same time. And then after you figure out how to get into that base, you have to turn into the walker to go into the base to take down the shield. Then that ship gets blown to bits. And then like Bill Gray's like, later, man, and he leaves. And then after that, then Starwolf shows up. And then you have to fight the 3 members of Starwolf then. And then as you get near the end, then Wolf shows up and is, I can't let you do that, Star Fox, etc., etc. And it's just a really cool, awesome sequence. And I think that level might be one of them that I feel like is very Platinum influenced, because it's just like it keeps on layering on like, all right, so yeah, now there's these big lasers, now there's Star Wolf.
You keep upping the ante.
Yeah, and that's also one of the bigger branching points when you first go through the story. And if you shoot down all of Star Wolf in that, then you go to one level, which I don't think we can talk about. I don't know. I'm not sure. Or Peppy gets shot down, and then you go to another level, which that's the first Landmaster stage, Titania.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and that's,
So
I'm enjoying it very much.
Your description makes it sound like each level is like 87 times longer than the average Star Fox 64 level, which is good, if true.
Not every level is as like long and involved as Sector Beta,
Okay.
but they're like, the first Corneria stage is pretty long. The Gyro Wing stage, which is like a stealth level,
Weird.
that's on the longer side. Sector Beta is on the longer side. Like Sector Omega, because of how fast it moves, is a little quicker, but it's awesome. And they made, like, because the attack carrier, at least how I remember that, because I played a lot more of the Super Nintendo version, like that was kind of the one that I preferred to 64 and kind of still do. The attack carrier was a pushover in that, but the attack carrier is like in like one of the last levels in this one, so the attack carrier is kind of a bastard. Yeah.
This actually sounds like a game I kind of want to play.
Yeah, like if you
Star
want
Fox
to play a
64.
Star Fox game, it's pretty good. It's a Star
Alright.
Fox game. The controls are definitely weird, but I'm in that rare field where I'm like, no, like they're not hurting my enjoyment for the game.
But are they
I think
weird in a Kid Icarus Uprising way where you just fight against them the whole time, or are they weird in a way you can pretty quickly wrap your head around?
I think the controls make more sense than Kid Icarus Uprising. As a long-suffering Kid Icarus Uprising apologist, and I still think that those controls are the way to play that game. I think that the Star Fox Zero controls are less obtuse than the Kid Icarus Uprising controls.
All right.
And do you have a lot of options for controls? Because I know that's been one of the hallmarks of the Star Fox, that you can change it to however you want most of the time, at least for the ones I've played.
There's pretty much two control settings. There's like the full-on motion controls, and then there's one that limits it to the motion only shows up when you hold down the fire button, which I don't like.
That's weird.
And actually kind of made me realize that, wait, I see why they have these motion controls, because they made the game around them.
Is it Splatoon-y?
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
All
So
right.
there's Star Fox Zero. There's your little taste.
Only like 20 more days or a little less.
I believe reviews this time, and 2 weeks from tonight, we might be having a show where I talk about my review.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I might be live streaming it.
Nice.
Who knows?
You should bring
Right
it
now,
to a
actually,
certain event we're going to.
I'm planning on it. Actually, if you want some inside baseball here, is we got the Star Fox review copies really early. So early, in fact, that I've played a ton of the game. I sent it to another person on staff who are regulars to Nintendo World Report TV, John Raridan, who's been doing Star Fox content for, I think, the past 10 years. It
Wow.
should have gotten to him today. So expect to not hear anything from John Raridan for a while. But then he's going to send it back to me closer to launch, so that way after the review's up, because that's when we can live stream, so I can live stream and then bring it to PAX East, and we can screw around with it
Nice.
like that weekend.
Okay.
Exciting.
Cool. Very cool. Moving on to Me Tomo. We did talk a little bit about the launch of Me Tomo and like the stuff surrounding Me Tomo, initial impressions of other people, and Donald last week, but a week has passed. I've played a lot of it now. Donald's played a lot of it now. Zach's played some now.
I've played a lot of it now.
Neal's overplayed it and burned out by now, practically.
Actually,
Did you get a second win?
No, if
Well,
you
no,
want
here's what
to
happened.
overplay
I got
it,
burned
get
out on the
Don
Japanese
show.
version. I got burned out on the Japanese version. And part of that was because most of the people that I was friends with on the Japanese version were like people that I didn't know that well. It was just like, like random people that was just like, oh, you got it too? You speak English, I speak English, let's be friends with Miitomo. I did have my crowning achievement in Me Tomo before I had to nuke my Japanese character, so that way I could make my English one. Because if you did get the Japanese version and you didn't attach it to a My Nintendo account, then you could have just been playing that character. Then once the English version launched, you could assign your My Nintendo account to that character you were playing. But I assigned my Japanese one to my Japanese My Nintendo account, so I had to kill him. I had to let him sacrifice his body. But I did become friends with Iji and Numa on it. And one of the questions is, what do you think I'm doing right now? And I said, working on Zelda Wii U, and he hearted it. So that was my crowning achievement in Me Tomo so far. So I guess I would like to think that Iji Aonuma is working on Zelda Wii U right now. Maybe he's working on Star Fox too. Maybe that's why Zelda got delayed.
I'm very interested to see how you guys play Miitomo, because Miitomo, the game I thought this was going to be, and the game
play Miitomo.
Exactly. It's night and day. Because before, like, we were all joking about, like, oh, it's like Nintendo's Tinder, whatever. It'll be a social app where people are interacting with each other. And now that I've played, like, Miitomo for myself for a while, I realized that, like, it's almost like Nintendo's own therapist that they're applying to their fan base. It feels very introspective in a way I didn't anticipate. Like, when I play Miitomo, I don't give a shit about what any of you are saying. I only care about, like...
you don't heart shit.
I don't heart shit. I'm only, like, looking through your answers so Nintendo can give me another question, and then I can think about my life and how I can improve my life.
You know that you don't have to listen to answers to get questions, right?
Really?
Oh, really?
Okay, so when your little dude, like, you, like, click on your dude, if you just click on your me, as opposed to clicking on the bubble,
yeah,
it usually just goes directly to asking you questions.
Oh, he just kind of looks around like, what?
Okay.
So it can go.
At least that's what I've been doing, because I mean, I am at the point where I did have, like, a ball with it when the English version launched, because I had, you know, a bunch of you guys on it. I had some in real life friends on it as well. I had, like it reached really far to, like, people that I knew from high school that, as far as I know, like, don't own a Nintendo console but got Miitomo. So like, that's been very fun. But of course, like, after 2 or 3 days and everybody, we're down. Like, I've got a shit ton of friends on it, and I'm probably down to interacting with, like, 5 to 10 people on the regular.
Yeah.
But I'm all about trying to game it to get my Nintendo stuff. So I make sure to answer my 3 questions a day. Try to get my hearts and my comments. Listen to 10 people's things. And I do really enjoy the interaction, and I think there's a part of it where you can kind of be more introspective with it, and it's kind of fun. Like, I've learned stuff about people that I tangentially know.
Like what kind of bread they fucking like?
Yeah, dude, garlic bread.
I know an entire forum that's all about sourdough.
You know what? I respect that opinion. I disagree with it, but I do respect it.
It's a popular answer. You know what else is popular answer? Playing Miitomo.
Yeah.
What do you do to relieve stress? Video games. No shit.
Or what's your favorite food? Pizza.
Yeah, pizza.
Everyone's favorite food is pizza.
So, it's like, I almost
it's like pizza, but then the second answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually kind of hate Miitomo now, because it's a fucking chore to get those points. So what I started doing was, is it seriously not showing me my answers in time? Good God. I'm trying. Here we go. So I'm trolling it.
Are we going on Miitomo right now?
I'm now trolling Miitomo. Here's a question I got last night. What mistake do you keep on making? I said...
Playing Miitomo?
Reflecting on the folly of existence, the chaos through which one attempts to pull together some semblance of sanity, even as cruel fate taunts your every carefully considered plan. So that's what I'm going to do with this stupid app now.
So you're joke playing Miitomo.
Also,
Miitomo.
Zach, I need to talk Miitomo shit to you.
Hold on.
So I had knockwurst for dinner last night, which I answered the question.
What is knockwurst?
Everybody's just like, what the fuck is knockwurst? You're on a phone. Google it. Come on. Like, I haven't replied to that out of spite to everybody that's just like, oh, what's that? Actually, no, there's one dude, Mark. Mark is the one guy who's just like, I don't know, man. I feel you.
I changed my greetings. My greeting when a friend comes to visit. I wish this app were better. Greeting when you visit friend. Let's mumble incoherently at each other. Send off. I don't know what send off means. Send off. Well, back to my joyless existence. And when you say goodbye, when will death come? So that's how I've decided to play Me Tomo.
Wow, and I thought I was being the Miitomo among us.
No, I give my answers to get coins. I heart things to get coins. I do whatever I gotta do to get coins. I don't even know what I'm saving them up for anymore because none of the remaining prizes are good.
I'll probably get WarioWare Touched for 3DS if I get
But
enough.
isn't that a gold thing? Don't you need gold coins?
No, that's a platinum one.
Oh,
And I
okay.
think there was another thing on platinum that I was like, you know what? If I got it and if I had coins to burn, I might get it. But I forgot what that one was.
Yeah, I got WarioWare first, so at this point I'm pretty much in Zach mode. I'm just grinding out coins and doing the eShop visits. So I have the funny feeling this thing will not last long once I get Twilight Princess Picross.
Yeah.
Here's something if we're going to talk about the business side of Miitomo, which is like the more interesting side of this to me, I have concerns about Miitomo's longevity, not only as an app, like how much content it has or how long it can sustain all of our attention, but also how much money Nintendo could possibly be making on this.
Well, apparently they're not making too much even in Japan.
Okay, so here's the thing with that, because I mean, there's been a lot of talk about that, because pretty much from when the Japanese one launched, the writing was on the wall that while there was very aggressive pricing on the microtransactions, there wasn't a lot of push to get people to use it, and like as far as like charting and different iTunes, it wasn't grossing. But I don't think that's the goal of Miitomo. I think that the goal of Miitomo is to get people that aren't playing 3DS and Wii U, people that aren't in Nintendo's ecosystem, into my Nintendo, into the Nintendo ecosystem. So that way, when they release future mobile games, which I would like to imagine would probably be a little more aggressive in the microtransaction front, which, I mean, with the Pokemon free-to-play experiments, they've definitely gone from, like, pretty gentle to Pokemon Picross, which is basically like, do you want to breathe? Give me some like... But Miitomo isn't meant to be, for whales. It's and maybe whales will still emerge once they start adding like Nintendo crap clothes for people to buy and stuff like that. But I think that Miitomo's longevity is going to. You're right, buddy.
Dr.
I think that Miitomo's longevity has a lot to do with if Nintendo updates it, which the public word from them right now is that they're planning to update it. But there hasn't been a major update so far. We're like a week into it, but
So
it's time.
Honestly, though, the biggest problem with this thing is that I often lose track of where is the cash shop in this game?
I haven't seen it.
I
I put hours into this game so far, and I have not sought out.
I'm looking
the
for
cash
it
shop.
now, actually. It's like, as we were talking about this, because now I'm curious, like, where is the actual cash option for Miitomo?
Yo, Rizza36 says that Zach has that bong cough.
It's called cystic
I
fibrosis.
appreciate that comment. That's right. Rip that
Somehow
shit,
he
Zach.
stepped away from
Rip
the
that
microphone and it got louder.
What?
Nothing, Zach.
I wish it was from a bong.
It's not in settings.
I think it's in. I think you have to actually. I think you actually have to go into the clothes shop, and then there's an option in there.
Closet.
Although I have to say,
up.
what they've given me in the clothes shop for most of this week has been crap.
Yes.
Like, I got the dinosaur suit day one, which is pretty amazing, and nothing has really topped that. I got, like, weird, like, monster feet at one point, and I got a tie. That was
Everything
cool.
in the shop is also, except like this bread stuff and cat stuff, is from Tomodachi.
Yeah, this is true. I do like Miitomo drop is, like, I mean, that's, I think, if they have a Miitomo drop that's like, here's some Zelda clothes,
Yes.
I'm going broke. Like, because Miitomo drop is evil. It's so evil.
Because
It's worse than Badge Arcade.
Here's
Yeah,
just very quickly. Here's the only way I know of to get coins in Miitomo to be able to pay for them. You have to buy clothes that exceed the amount of money you have left, and only then will it give you the option, which may or may not be backwards on the screen right now. Would you like to purchase more
No, it's not.
coins?
No, it's not.
Yeah, if you tap your coin balance in the clothing store as well, it'll take you right there, so you can buy it before you do it. But
And if you want 75,000 coins plus a 30,000 coin bonus, it's only $74.99.
Oh my
105.
God! What?
105.
Holy shit!
Dude, just spend the money on it now. It's never gonna go bad, right?
The purchase of Miitomo coins could not be completed.
you probably, if you're like me, you don't have anything hooked up to like your Google Play account anyway.
I should use their support code to see if Nintendo can help me.
Like, hey man, can you give me some money?
But hey, Nintendo says I'm awesome, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, did you get a game token pass thing? Ticket?
I got a crown because I hit.
You know
level
what's gonna
10.
be awesome at PAX East, Zach?
Face-to-face Miitomo where we get 100 coins for doing
I know,
it?
I already did
Yes?
Ah,
Zach?
did that.
Yes? Zach?
Yes.
Okay.
that.
That's the only mission I have yet to do.
Mm.
No, when we play Nintendo Land all weekend,
Oh,
because that's
fuck you.
all I want to do. That's all I want to do, man.
My brother gave me all his Wii U stuff before he left, and included in that bundle of shit is a sealed copy of Nintendo Land.
Dude, you should play that because it's a great game.
God.
You should just launch the stick from your ass and play some fucking Nintendo Land.
I have a question about Nintendo and business that I feel like Neal, at least, would be able to engage me with a good answer on, and probably you guys, too. Speaking of Miitomo and, like, is Nintendo making a ton of money? Are they having a bunch of success with Miitomo? I've been thinking a lot about Amiibo and how many Amiibo I've been seeing on store shelves. Do we think Amiibo is on a downslope, or do we think that Nintendo's just really good at stocking Amiibo now?
Mix of both.
Down slow.
Mix of both?
I mean, if you look at how like the KK slider and the Llamas pack is like down to the price of a single Amiibo.
$14.
Like, I
Yep.
mean, but I think that might also speak more to how much of a failure last holiday was.
And also Animal Crossing sucks.
Yeah, because I mean, like for example, Roy, which I believe Donald you have.
Yeah.
Roy, I can't find anywhere. Not that I'm looking that hard for it, but like Roy is sold out.
Yeah.
As far as we can tell.
Because Roy, at least he was there on, like, he came out on the Friday. I still saw him on store shelves on a Monday, which I've never seen with any Fire Emblem Amiibo.
Wow.
Okay. So maybe there was a better supply of that, but still, it's like it's not all sunshine and daisies with like
And
there's
also-
there's ones everywhere. However, from the day that Falco came out, I have seen probably thousands of Falcos
Me
at
too.
every Best Buy.
Yep.
$25.99 with free Prime shipping. Just for reference, for what a hard-to-find Amiibo means now.
Yeah,
Wow,
which
it used
I
to be
mean,
like
it's definitely
$100.
it's calmed down a lot from where it was a year ago, which is good. But I think that maybe after the Animal Crossing explosion, they might be a little more conservative with some of the Amiibo stuff. Like
Pump the
I
brakes.
think I would be surprised if there was like a whole Zelda line alongside Zelda Wii U, as opposed to like it's bundled with an Amiibo.
Well, there's going to be a whole Kirby line for Robobo.
That's a mistake. That is a mistake.
I
huge
have a
mistake.
feeling we're going to see. Well, I think Meta Knight and King Dedede as a Smash Brothers variety are still very hard to find.
Yeah, I've never seen a DDD in stores.
But I think the like Smash Brother, or I mean the Amiibo series of like 3 to 4 Amiibo per game, I think that's a good number.
Yeah,
And that's my
not
thing.
like 20.
You know what?
like
I
Animal
still think
Crossing.
using Amiibo in a meaningful way in a 3DS game, as I learned with Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, is kind of dumb.
Mm.
But like I think all those Kirby Amiibo look great.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna end up with a lot of them, honestly.
They're cute.
Yeah, that was just a quick thing I wanted to talk about. Another quick thing that I just want to get Neal's opinion on for a very quick second. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess Picross.
Okay.
What do you think of
Dude,
that?
I got it too. What the fuck?
Oh, cool. I didn't know you had it too, Zach. You can also give your opinion. You have my permission.
All right.
Mhm.
You go first, Neal.
I think it's a very good Picross game for free. It's lighter on content. The one thing that bugs me about it is that so you have your regular Picross, you got the Mega Picross that has like things that go over 2 lines and stuff, and then there's Micross, which is one of the dumber things that the Picross games have added.
What is that? I haven't gone in there yet.
Micross is where there's like a Picross and a Picross. So like there's a bigger image, and then you do smaller puzzles to solve each grid in that image.
Like the murals from Pokemon Picross?
Yes, very similar.
Or the constructor ones from 3D Picross.
Yes, similar to that.
Okay. I can get behind that.
But the bummer thing is that with Picross and Mega Picross, and this might have been how the later Picross games are. I don't play those as often anymore. But the puzzles are the puzzles are different, but what you're making are identical. So there's 40 regular Picross puzzles. When you do Mega Picross, it's the same 40 like solutions.
Oh.
So like you'll make like the Wolf Link, you'll solve the Wolf Link puzzle in regular Picross, and when you play Mega Picross, all of like it's a different puzzle still, but the reward is the same image of Wolf Link.
Well, screw that.
Yeah.
I hate that the
enjoyed
music
it a
and the
lot.
graphics never change.
It's actually, if you go to Macross, then it's like, because the spoiler, the bigger image that you're making is like Link fighting a thing.
Oh.
Which is it's just cool, but like that music's all like intense and fierce.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to play a Picross game to Zelda music, it's a pretty good option.
But there should be different music for different. I don't know. Give me some variety.
That would be cool.
Wait,
field.
When you complete a puzzle, does it look cool?
No.
Yeah, you can like share the stamps on Miiverse, but I looked at them and I'm like, I don't even know what this is. Why am I gonna share this?
Yeah.
That's always been my problem with 2D Picross. The resulting image is always just kind of, what is that?
Yeah. There is Twilight Princess Picross. Now the final thing I want to talk about, we could talk about the Mini Mario thing, but you know what? We can talk about that next week after everyone plays it more. Fine.
It's a cute game.
The next Nintendo Direct, when do we think it's going to be? By the way, just for the record, just to say this again, there's no announcement of a Nintendo Direct. By Nintendo Direct predictions, we just mean predicting when the next Nintendo Direct is. Speculating, I think it's going to be either next week or E3. Like, I don't think there's going to be one of those weird May Nintendo Directs and then a full, presentation. Yeah.
It's going to be
E3. They got a console. They have a console. That's the only reason why we could have a Direct in May.
We won't. It'll be June.
What do you think, Donald?
I don't think we're going to see anything this month just because Nintendo is probably now in that quiet period where they don't want to announce anything that's going to directly impact what's going to come out in their financials at the end of the month. So I think May minimum and maybe first week of May to clear the tracks of anything they would want to get out of the way before E3, and maybe they'll also announce their E3 plans because that's about when they do it.
Because they did that micro one last year before E3.
That was like 2 weeks before, maybe?
Yes, and they just dropped that on YouTube. Straight up dropped it.
So the financials are April 27th, correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say around that time, but I don't think they'll do a direct right around the financials. I think that we will get a separate Nintendo Direct before E3 that will probably give us stuff like Dragon Quest VII release date, probably some more Mea Culpas for Metroid Prime Federation Force, and a release date for that as well. I'm going to go with the first week of May. There's a gut that's telling me we're going to see something in the next couple weeks, but unless there's like one on like April 20th, and they unlaunch Mother 3 on the world on the day of its 10th anniversary. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Since no one else really thinks it's going to happen in April, I'm going to say April 20th, and we're going to get Mother 3. It'll be right before Star Fox comes out, and that's similar to what they did with Twilight Princess HD, where they had a direct like 2 days before it came out.
And also that would let them announce probably a late May or June release date for Federation Force, you think?
Yep. Yeah. and I still have nothing to report on this front. It should be like, as far as I know, I think Nintendo's going to be at PAX East, but I'm not 100% sure. And
A lot of people are not going to be at PAX East.
yeah, there's not. I have booked no appointments for PAX East, and it's not that like we've turned anything down. There just hasn't been anything for us to cover,
No.
which is a bummer.
Um,
But I think that if Federation Force is going to be at PAX East, I think we will get a release date around PAX East, whether there is a Nintendo Direct or not. Because I can't think of a reason why there would be a release date. I think there's like a release month for Europe and Japan, and it's just late spring for America, which to me that says that it's gonna be May. I think that's a May release.
okay.
NWR's Game of 2016 is a May release.
We do have some questions / comments in the chat I want to talk about. Anthony Dranfield says, May NX announcement. I think it is very disagreeable to suggest that an NX announcement will come before E3.
Yeah.
I think it'd be smart. I think it's, in all honesty, at this point, the fact that we know nothing about it, well, I guess as more time goes on, I think it's getting dumber and dumber, because I really think that Sony did the right thing with how they announced and rolled out their announcement of the PlayStation 4, where they had the February event where they kind of gave you the basics, announced some games, and then at E3 they blew the doors down with that presentation. And a lot of that was because Microsoft was screwing up around the same time, but I also think that Microsoft's unveiling of the Xbox One, the weird DRM stuff aside, that was also a good rollout, where they had, I think their like initial reveal was April or May.
It was late.
Yes.
It was late May.
Okay, so like 3-4 weeks before E3, something like that. Like it got a lot of the basics of the announcement out of the way, and then the E3 that Microsoft press conference. I was present for that. It was a pretty good press conference. The price kind of put them at a disadvantage. That Sony ate their lunch, but they just rolled out games at E3, and I think that if Nintendo waits until E3 to show off everything of NX, I think that the NX will get lost in the sea of VR and PS4K and the Xbox 1.5 or whatever. I think it'll get lost in the sea unless it's the absolute best idea ever, which it could be. Who knows?
I think they can get away with doing something a couple weeks before E3, because the Wii name came out right before E3, and then we got all the jokes out of our system, and then we just focused on the games, which worked out really well for them. So I think they probably they need to have an announcement of some sort, just to show, here's what we're bringing and here's why it's important. Like, if there's going to be something like Miiverse, get it out of the way well before 2 days before the show begins.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the most realistic Nintendo way to approach this is going to be like the Sunday before E3. They're like, here's some basics, and then Tuesday will be all games or something.
Could be.
We should hear about their E3 plans relatively soon, I think. There's absolutely no insight on my part other than like gut feeling and how they usually announce these things.
Okay.
And I would put money on my
go ahead
thought on this thing.
Yeah.
The financials for the last fiscal year and the projections for the next fiscal year are on April 27th, as we mentioned before. The NX will be mentioned there in some fashion, even if it's just like we won't have projections and guidance for that until we announce it at E3. But like we'll get like they will have more of their hand to shareholders to be like, hey, for the next fiscal year, there's this thing coming out. It's called the NX. Maybe here's some details about it.
Okay. Cool. 2 more things from the chat before we wrap this up. Hello, I am Silex says, yeah, we all got to hear about that Paper Mario Color Splash soon, or else bah. I think Paper Mario Color Splash is going to be the weird E3 game that no one really wants there, but Nintendo wants there.
What's a good parallel for that?
The last Paper Mario game that came out on 3DS.
Sticker Star. Well, Sticker Star was never playable at E3. Yeah, they just had that. That was the year where that was the first year. Zach, you were at that E3. They had the 3DS showcase where they they showed off New Super Mario Brothers 2, Sticker Star,
Right,
and
right.
the third game. Then I'm
Wasn't it Bowser's Inside Story? Because we played that there.
No,
No,
that was the first E3 you went to. That
I
was
think they-
Okay.
I think that's where they showed off. That's where they showed off the epic Mickey 3DS game, and I
Yeah.
think that's also where Jason Schreier found out that Fire Emblem Awakening was getting localized.
Hey, I was right there. I was there for that too, man.
I was right next to him.
I was like literally. but I think there was a third Nintendo game, but I can't think of what it was. It's gonna bug me. Was it like Pokemon? No, that would have been off. But either way, Sticker Star wasn't playable at that E3. Oh, Luigi's Mansion.
Oh
Luigi's Mansion was
yeah.
playable. And the new Super
Yeah.
Mario Brothers 2 was playable on the third day and the third day only. It was weird. That was the start of the that was the start of the our booth space is going to be all we use. There will be some women floating around with 3DS systems.
Yes. It was so fucking awkward.
Okay. And then the last thing we should talk about, that is Falco says, what about Zelda U/NX? E3. E3.
Yep. I think that'll be
The focus.
maybe there's a 3D Mario or something. Maybe they have some other thing up their sleeve. So that Zelda Wii U or NX or whatever systems it come out on. That's going to be a big deal at E3, or at least it better, or else I'm going to regret going to E3 this year.
Yeah, there is that big thing on their eShop homepage now that says the Summer of Zelda. So maybe they'll get off to an early start with that.
I do remember a quote, I think it was from Reggie Fils-Aimé, or maybe Mr. Iwata, a very long time ago, that like followed the negative-ish reception that Mario U got when it came out. Not like negative reception, but how people were like kind of bummed that that was the Mario game they launched with. It seemed like there was some suggestion that like they understood like what people were complaining about. Like it seemed like there was some acknowledgement from Iwata or Reggie Fils-Aimé a long time ago. They're like, we get it. But in their Nintendo way, where they didn't directly...
I was going to say...
It must have been Iwata, because I remember Reggie being like, what are you talking about? You don't like this Mario game.
I remember Reggie being very belligerent and being like, you wanted a Mario game at launch. We gave you a Mario game at launch.
Yeah.
And like it was like, no, but dude, like, Mario 64... That was mind-blowing.
Reggie was reacting as if people were asking about Federation Force. This is not what we wanted in a Metroid game. What are you talking about? Of course it's a Metroid game. What do you want?
New Super Mario Bros. U, very good game.
Yeah.
It is a very good game. It's the best U game. I mean, new Mario. I hate that naming convention.
Yeah.
New U, Super, I don't know. It's a good game.
The other problem is that they had another new Super Mario game launching with another new piece of hardware 3 months before the Wii came out.
Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, well, no, Super Mario Maker came out. I was gonna say I missed those games, but no, Super Mario Maker quenches all of those thirsts whenever I get them. What a great game!
New Super Mario Brothers 2 is the most soulless Mario game I've ever played.
I actually
created by AIs.
I think New Super Mario Brothers 2 might be my favorite New Super Mario Brothers game.
Really?
It grows on you. With time, it grows on you. It's weird.
But I 100%ed it. It did not grow on me.
I 100%ed it. Guess what other New Super Mario Brothers games I 100%ed?
0 of them?
Only New Super Mario Brothers 2. And that's what I keep on going back to when I think about that game is like, I think New Super Mario Brothers U is a fantastic game, but I didn't have the urge to 100% it.
Wow.
I beat the shit out of New Super Mario Brothers 2.
I always want to go back and write an alternate universe article where instead of New Super Mario 2, it's New Super Wario.
Yeah, and that game would be better.
It would make more sense.
Yep.
Or even a Mario 2 like Doki Doki Panic sequel.
Yeah, with some gold. Like, why not?
With some gold, why not? That is our show for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for joining us. Neal can be found on Twitter at Enron10, N-R-O-N, the number 10. Zach on Twitter at ZMiller1902, Z-M-I-L-L-E-R 19.
Please do not add me on Miitomo. I don't care.
All right. Donald Mick at DONALDMICK. There's Donald. And I can be found on Twitter at CULAFIA. See you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.